Welcome to the fourth and final day of the Oakcliff International. We are currently hovering over Billy Joel Shoal, waiting for some wind. After an epic day of racing, all we have left are the finals and the Pettit finals. Currently, we have Dave Perry in first, Peter Holes in second, Chris Poole in third, Megan Thompson in fourth. If no racing gets off, that's the way the standings will stay. That's the way the prize grants will be attributed. First place is $2,500. We're currently on board with Team Dave Perry and his team of skippers, headed out to the race course. There's a northerly. Who knew?
Welcome along sound in August.
Absolutely. So I want to talk just a little bit about yesterday.
Okay.
You had some really interesting situations. There was a little bit of a collision that was in the video last night. You can see on YouTube. But talk about this pre-start with Megan Thompson, because I appreciate the fact that you avoided collision quite a few times.
Well, first of all, can I say there's a lot of young teams here, and I think that is the best thing for the sport. There's a lot of teams here where the kids haven't used a wheel before, and the boat really handles different with a wheel. So we've lost, I think, 4 races so far, and they've all been to the young teams, which is great. But sometimes when you're younger and a little less experienced boat like that, you do something which you can get away with in a smaller boat and doesn't work so well in a big boat. So I chalk it up to that. And I'm experienced enough that I saw trouble coming and I knew how to jump out of the way.
It came through loud and clear on the Facebook Live. We absolutely saw that happening, so we appreciate it. Any comments on your race against any of the other races yesterday? Because you had some pretty dicey situations. I saw a little bit of a pullback, and then you came on strong.
Well, the pullbacks, listen, as you know, it's an ebb and flow, right? No one's going to win every race. And we had a great race with Tapper, the young Tapper team, in the end of the round robin. That was when we had the collision, and it could have been closer, and they won that. And then we won the round robin. He was 8th, and we met in the quarterfinals, and he won the first race there too. And we had lead changes. I would say that our crew work is strong, and that bailed us out of a lot of situations. But their match racing tactics are strong, and so, full credit to them, and, it's great to see it.
I can see the experience on the race course. I think everybody can see who's watching. Just a little bit of a comment. There are 3 Americans, 3 kind of hometown teams in the finals. How did that happen?
It's a long time in coming, Don, and you especially, and many others, we've been working so hard to raise the level of American match racers. There was a time when it was tough to see the stars and bars up there at all. And now it's a more regular basis, and I couldn't be more proud. It's a result of a lot of work that you've done, I've done, and other people have done. And credit to younger sailors coming along. And we got Daniel Pegg on board. He's a youth world champion, and we got Nicole Brault on board. She's #1 woman match racer in the country and 3 in the world. So the U.S. is I think we're back on the world stage again, which is a great place to have us.
Absolutely, no pressure. As the past president of Oakcliff, we want him to win, and you get $2,500 in prize grants, and you get Hobie sunglasses. Woo!
Wow, well that's exciting. That'll pay for the dinner I took him out to Walls Wharf last night, and so that'll cover that, which would be great.
Awesome. Have a great day today.
Thanks a lot.
As we're waiting for wind, the 68-meter built in 2019, the Nika has arrived in Oyster Bay. Evidently, she was built in 2019 and is not for sale. Chris Poole coming in for the first win on the Pettit finals, and we are entering the 4th start of a possible 5 starts. Peter Holes was on starboard. Dave Perry spun quickly. Peter's going around the outside. Dave tacking over to go to the playground. Rocking and rolling here. Peter Holes up hard. Dave Perry, windward boat, must keep clear. Peter was going to tack to be able to get into contact. 1:30 to go. Dave Perry's not taking any chances here. Peter Holes is on starboard. Dave Perry went on to port, put himself into that position. Right now, that is dangerous. If there's a problem, I think that goes on Dave. I think that goes on Dave. That was a little bit of a misjudgment. Y flag's flying. Let's see what the umpires say. Yep, Dave Perry cops a penalty. Dave with the penalty, just 10 seconds to the start. He's trying to aggressively push Peter Holes over the line. It's not going to happen. Peter's tacking away. Dave's coming down, and he's going to have to come up and barely make the committee boat or do a tack. Peter Holes coming into the first stop mark of the fourth race with a beautiful spinnaker set. Dave Perry close on his heels. Right now, we've just determined from the race committee the tie break is who beat who in the round robin. If they do not get a final race off Dave Perry, Roundy, he's definitely gained in this race. Dave Perry has managed to pull in front of Peter Holes on the last top mark. We're running up against the time limit. This very likely will be the last race of the series, and right now he has to figure out a way to get that penalty wiped off, equalize it on Peter Holes, and finish in front. Both boats are on the same tack. Peter Holes is trying to say that he is tacked onto port, so Dave has to go around the mark. And here we go, playing cat and mouse here. Dave Perry on port, Peter Holes on starboard. Dave trying to get Peter caught up and hooked and luff him into a situation where he can offset the penalty. Peter's game is just do not get overlapped, do not get overlapped. Coming down to the point of the race course where it's going to be upwind to the finish mark, and that will make doing a penalty a little bit easier. Both boats are making the spectators wonder what the heck is going on. They are to the point right now where it's a fetch up to the finish boat and then down. Peter Holes is trying to just go up and stay clear. Is Dave Perry going to tack? But if he tacks, he's going to be on port. I think this might be over after this game downwind with just jibs, but stand by and we will find out. Dave tacking onto port, saying he's got to have room at the mark. Dave Perry saying, no, I don't have room, which I would say is questionable because he's trying to say that the ley line, and he does have an option there. There is going to be conversation. I guess there is going to be conversation, and it's a yellow and a blue. Both boats were wrong. No, it's a yellow. Dave Perry wins. Dave Perry, that was an interesting mark, Roundy.
Oh my gosh, whenever you're saying Peter Holes, you never know what's going to happen next.
What?
Never.
Agreed. Holy crap, you do not see that every day. That was very, very, very fun match racing. And if you didn't pick up, at the end of the day, they're all friends because this game is played over and over and over again. And it's just plain awesome.
I hate being wet! Oh.